Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nigeria Off Grid. Today's video, I just wanted to do a kind of a quick top 5 essentials if you're going to be traveling, to Nigeria or abroad or wherever you're going to go. Kind of top 5 things that, in my opinion, are vital to make the journey a little bit easier. So here we go. Okay guys, so my number one point here that I think that is the most important, or one of the most important things, is definitely your first aid. So everything on my list, definitely you can get them in Nigeria. There's no problem there. But for me, I like having things on hand in case I need it. So first aid is a very important one. All your medication that you're gonna need, thermometers, band-aids, everything like that, especially if you have little kids. All those vital things that you need. So again, you can still get them around here. It's easy. There's pharmacies all over the place. But I like having it on hand. I personally took one of those big, large suitcases and I packed it full of everything first aid. So I came definitely well prepared. Like everything you could possibly imagine. So that would be definitely a number one point for me. Again, if you have little kids, this is very important. There's going to be scrapes. There's going to be people falling. When we first got here, my kids kind of got a little bit sick. After about a month or so, they got kind of sick again for about a week or so. So it's kids, right? It's, a new environment, everything like that. Even for yourself too, just to have those things on hand. So in the middle of the night, or, if you can't get to where you need to go at that time, you have your first aid. So that's number one. Definitely invest in first aid. Okay, so number 2 for me was a solar battery pack. As you see on the screen, it is about $250 off of Amazon in Canada there. So basically it's a little battery. It comes with a solar panel that you can hook up. So either you hook it up to the solar panel, or you can hook it up to an outlet. If there's lights, you can charge it that way. And it has like a plug-in. It has USB chargers, or USB ports I should say, and everything like that. So it has been one of our lifesavers definitely that we have had. So when the lights are gone, you can still charge your phone, or you can still do what you have to do, like with the battery pack itself. With some of those battery packs that you buy, if you buy anything larger than this size, it's just like a little, basically kind of just like a little box. But if you buy anything bigger, you might have trouble on the plane because it's an ion battery. So sometimes they don't like those on the planes, right? So you have to make sure that you are in the plane regulation with the battery. So the one that I got, definitely there was no problem. Everything was good to go, and it has saved us many, many times. And again, it also has a flashlight on it, and kind of like a strobe light on one side, a flashlight on the other side. It's kind of just like a all-in-one type of thing. So I definitely recommend getting something like that if you're coming out here, especially with the way the lights are. They're not always consistent, but you always have to make sure you have a charged phone or something like that, or at least light to some extent. So that is definitely number 2 on my list. Get yourself a solar battery pack, and that way that you're set. No matter what happens, you got yourself something. I've also added a picture here quickly. It's about an adapter, so you're going to want to make sure that you have kind of an adapter and inverter type thing, just so that you can plug in your chargers and your heads that you have to match the ones that are here, the outlets, because obviously they're different. So definitely invest in one of these guys. It'll help you a lot as well. Okay, number 3 is definitely documents. So obviously you're going to need your passport, birth certificates. If you have any land that you bought out here, you're going to want to bring those land documents. Anything that you need for taxes back in Canada or wherever you're coming from, you're going to want to bring that as well. So please just make sure that you bring them and put them somewhere safe. Have yourself like a lockbox or something that you can keep them safe with you. But definitely bring your documents that you're going to need on this side. Okay, so point number 4, I'm going to try to make this kind of as quick as possible. Point number 4 is banking. So you're going to need to figure out a way how to get yourself funds while you're here in Nigeria. Obviously, you need to try and get yourself established online or somewhere else, because coming to Nigeria to work, you're not going to be able to make any money. So you need to be established before you came with recurring income. Now, when you have that recurring income, you're going to have to somehow get it to yourself here. So something like World Remit, it is an app online, and it actually works really well. The fees are minimal, if anything, and it comes straight to your bank. So what we did here is we opened up an OPay. It works with World Remit, and we can just go from our Canadian Canadian bank account using a debit card. You don't have to use a credit card. Canadian debit card and into your OPay, which actually you don't even need much information to open up an OPay account. So that has been very good for us because it has been easy and there's been less headache. We tried MoneyGram or Western Union and stuff like that, but you're just paying far too high fees. You have to go to banks and things like that. But this is a simple way, and that's what worked for us. So definitely you need to figure out your banking. If you don't want to use World Remit or you don't want to use OPay or whatever, you don't want to use it, that's fine. But you do need to figure out how you're going to get yourself funds, because being stuck in Nigeria with no money and no options is definitely not something that you can do. So get your banking figured out. Okay, my point number 5 here is clothing and bedding. So the bedding portion's coming from the fact that we were sleeping on the floor. So that definitely helped make it a little bit more comfortable for us. The clothing portion came from the fact that obviously you're going to need clothes, and when you have kids, they're going to be growing pretty quick, and so the clothing, they're going to need larger clothes. Clothing needs to be replaced because they get stained or dirty or holes or whatever kids do to your clothing. But for us, we left Canada in the middle of winter time, so we didn't have access to shorts and like tank tops and sandals readily available to us then because it was out of season. So coming here, I'm not gonna lie, I probably was a little bit not as prepared as I should have been. For myself specifically as well, I kind of had not too many articles of clothing that were good for hot weather. So I kind of thought, coming here, maybe I could buy. And don't get me wrong, there are shops and stuff you could definitely buy that stuff here. But I mean, when you first get into a country, your first thing isn't to go, shopping spree and get yourself a whole bunch of clothes. So for number 5, I want to just kind of say, kind of try to get what you can, whether it's sandals or whether it's, shorts or tank tops for yourself or for your kids. Make sure you do come prepared, because again, when you come in, there's just going to be a lot going on in your mind, and to go, shopping is not going to be definitely up on the list of things to do. So minimize the amount of stress and get yourselves set clothing wise. So definitely number 5, clothing. So that's my personal top 5 list of things that I found most important. When we came, we were allowed on the plane with 2 large suitcases, a carry-on suitcase, and then like a personal item, like a backpack each. So that was a lot, considering that there's 7 of us. That was a lot of suitcases. It was pretty insane in the airport, I'm not gonna lie, hauling all those suitcases around. So we ended up actually just check baggaging our carry-ons because our kids were too small. They couldn't be carrying all of that anyway, but we just put it into the bottom of the plane, and then when we got to Nigeria, everything was there, everything was fine. We didn't lose anything, thank God. But you know what, I utilized the suitcases that were available to me. That being said, I don't know if I would ever tell you not to bring something, because you don't know if you're going to need it or not. So I was kind of thinking, okay, what could I advise you not to bring? But there's definitely things that I thought that I didn't need that I ended up bringing, and I ended up needing it. And there's things that I didn't think I'd need and I didn't bring it, and I wish I had it. So definitely, if you have the suitcases already and you have the space, just bring it along. You never know. For us, again, our goal is essentially off-grid. So, that's kind of, think about camping. What do you need for camping? You kind of need air mattresses, or you need, fire starters. You need bug spray, or, mosquito nets. You need a light that can charge solar light, or, things like that. That's definitely kind of, again, for us our goal is off-grid. Our things that we need to bring is definitely off-grid related. If you're not looking to do off-grid, your list might be different. But us, definitely, for the goal that we have, off-grid camping is kind of our essentials. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, share, and subscribe, and more videos coming up next.